This video is brought to you by Iqbal Sajid. Sacrifice is always required on the road to your dream. The question is, what are you willing to sacrifice? I heard a story that was powerful. It's a story of a general who was leading his men into war, and as they got into their fleet of boats, they were going to take an island. As they reached the island, the men got off the boats. The general gathered his men before they went into battle. He looked at them and he gave them 3 words: burn the boats. Now this is powerful because he's telling them there is no retreat. Absolutely no retreat. Like option A is the only option. Option B isn't possible, and he instilled into his men a mindset of courage and clarity of conviction that allowed them to understand that this is the energy that you need to go and win this battle. The reason why the story is so powerful, because each and every one of us, as we're going into the battle of life, whatever it is that we are trying to accomplish, this mindset is necessary. Like you dream getters, when you're going after a goal, when you're going after your aspirations, when you're going after something that might feel different to you, it might be bigger than the shoes that you're in right now. What it's telling you, what the general is telling his men, was that I need your mindset to be ready for the war that we have in front of us. And oftentimes many of us step into new scenarios and new arenas with doubt. We're clouded with doubt, and we wonder why it is so difficult for us to grow into the best version of ourselves. And if you don't have what you want, stop telling yourself the story. Because you don't the money all the time. It's because you haven't committed yourself. Where you would burn your boats. If you want to take the island, burn your bones and you will take the island. Because people, when they're gonna either die or succeed, tend to succeed. And the general is looking at his men, and he understood that he needed to literally light a fire within them. He needed to ignite something in them that let them know that he was going to lead them to victory. And nothing else. And oftentimes for many of us, that is a difficult mindset to get into. It is very difficult to step into a new arena, a new situation, a new environment, and have the courage, the confidence, the conviction and the clarity to know that is yours for the taking. Sometimes it will be time. Sometimes there will be effort. Sometimes they will require isolation. Sometimes it will require you to put yourself in environments where you have to grow. Sometimes it will require you to make new relationships and put yourself in environments that you're not aware of. Are you willing to make the necessary sacrifices to become the individual that you need to be, to go after that dream? So my question to you, as we step into a new arena, as we're growing into the best version of ourselves, have we burned our boats? I've come a long way, but I have a long way to go. I'm on a journey where I've come a long way, but I still have a vision that I have to reach for. And as I'm going on this journey, I'm realizing that there are a few things that are absolutely imperative to keep in mind. Number 1, you can't do it alone. Nothing that you're after can be really done alone. You have to understand who is on your team, who is a part of your team. How are you contributing and adding value to their lives, and how are they contributing and adding value to yours? Who are you sacrificing for? Because if they're not there, I promise you that reward will feel so empty. Number 2 is what sacrifices. Are you going to make dreams require sacrifice? Oftentimes it requires time spent. Alone time spent doing something that you never thought. This all used dice to walk in the park by myself and give talks over and over again, imagining what the crowd would look like, who I wanted to be on that stage. This is a year before I ever started speaking. And while I'm not saying I'm far on the journey, now I just understand that there are going to be sacrifices that need to be made as you go on your journey. My question for you right now is, as you're on your journey, what sacrifices are you intentionally making? Where are you going, and what are the things that you're saying? You know what, if I cut this out, and I cut this out, and I add this in, and I add this in, I develop this habit, and I cut this habit, I will grow into the person that I'm supposed to become. What are those things for you? Have you identified those? And last but not least, what is the legacy that you're trying to leave behind? This word, legacy, is interesting because oftentimes it's spoken by those who are 50, 60, 70. Like society has put it in a situation where we're only supposed to think about legacy at the end of our lives. I think legacy is something that you do every single minute. How do you walk in your legacy? Meaning, what are you leaving behind? What impression are you leaving on the people Who are around you? How are you moving and operating in a way where someone understands what you stand for and who you are now? What is your legacy? You're walking in it. It's not something that you build at the end of your life. It's something that you're doing right now. We are on the journey of becoming, so never be scared of answering the question. And tackling the question. And grappling with the question, the frustrating question. The question that might not have an answer right now. Are you on the right path? And understand it, that's the only path you will take. Because if you operate with that type of mindset, victory is yours.